Hello, welcome to PhyzQuest. So this is the solution video for CSIR NET December 2019 Part B, question number 17. The question is, we are given a force vector F is equal to axy plus z cube I cap plus x square j cap plus bx z square k cap. The given force is a conservative force and we need to find out the values in the expression of the force, the values of A and B given in the expression of the force. 4 options are given and we need to choose the correct option. So let's get started. So this question comes from the section Classical Mechanics and the concept involved here is the conservative force. To understand the concept of conservative force, think about the conservation of energy. For any kind of system, there may be a transition between kinetic energy to potential energy or vice versa while working, but the total energy is always conserved at any point of time. Similar is the situation in case of conservative force. It does not depend on what path is followed. It only depends on the starting point and the ending point. So if you define a conservative force is a force which depends on the position of the particle, not on the path it follows. Therefore, the work done by a conservative force is path independent. So you can understand this concept through a very simple example. So example could be the force of gravity. Suppose you have a ball which you drop from a certain height. Due to gravity, it will reach the ground. Now the same ball, if you roll down through via a frictionless slider from the same height, so again it will reach the ground and the force will remain the same. So by dropping the ball from a height or rolling down the ball via a smooth frictionless slider, the work done on the ball will be the same. Now other examples can be spring forces or the electrostatic force. Spring force where suppose that there is a tension in a stretched elastic string. So that situation is very much similar to a conservative force. So now these are the examples of conservative force. Now if this is the conservative force, then what is non-conservative force? Non-conservative force is the force which dissipates during the process or following a path due to the factors like air resistance or friction. Now how to identify whether a force is conservative? So any conservative force can be derived from a potential energy function. So for any conservative force, there exists a scalar function V such that the force is equal to gradient of V. Now how do you know that the force you are given is the gradient of a scalar function? It is very simple, just to take the curl of the force, because you know that curl of the gradient of a function will always be 0. So therefore, in order to identify whether a force is conservative or not, the simplest process is take the curl of the force, which is equal to 0. And this is the formula we need in this question. So now let's move to the question. So here we are given a force which is F is equal to axy plus zq I cap plus x square j cap plus bx z square k cap. Now the given force is a conservative force. Therefore, gradient of F is equal to 0. So now here, in order to solve this problem, we have to write down this curl of this force in terms of a determinant form. So the gradient of the force in terms of determinant will be equal to I cap j cap k cap del by del x del by del y del by del z axy plus zq x square bx zq. So in this format you have to write down, and then when you solve this will be equal to I cap del by del y bx z square minus del by del z x square minus j cap del by del x bx z square minus del by del z axy plus z cube plus k cap del by del x x square minus del by del y axy plus z cube. Now the first term here, this term does not have any y term, this term does not have any z term, so both the terms will be 0. So this will be equal to I cap 0 minus 0, and here this will be upon differentiation, this will give bz square, and this will give you only this term will get differentiated, that is 3z square. So this will be minus j cap bz square minus 3z square. Again the third term will be plus k cap 2x minus ax. Now the given force is conservative, so this will be equal to 0. Our purpose is to find out the numerical values of a and b. So this is equal to 0 means the term attached to the unit vectors are also 0. So both these terms are 0. So now we can write it down, bz square minus 3z square is equal to 0. So if you take out common z square, that implies b minus 3z square is equal to 0. Now z cannot be 0. So that implies b minus 3 is equal to 0, which shows b is equal to 3. So now 2x minus x equal to 0. Now again you take x common, so this will give 2 minus a into x is equal to 0. Again x is not equal to 0, which implies 2 minus a is equal to 0, which shows a is equal to 2. So we have got b is equal to 3 and a is equal to 2. So these are the numerical values we have got. Now let's check the options. Now if you check the option, you can see that option A is matching with our result. So the correct answer for this question is option A.